We're live. There's cats in here. Got your coffee? I got my coffee. It is August 23rd and 8 in the morning. Golden hour. Looks good in here. Got my coffee cup. Today is also, there's a lot going on today. Into summer, kids are back to school. It's the start of college football season. It's week 0, so not all of the teams are playing today, but there are some college football games on the slate for today. Next week is week 1 where everybody has a game. So it's my favorite time of the year. It's fall. I mean, it's still summer, but we're getting into fall. When football season starts. Got my A&M cup. A&M's winning it all this year. And the Cowboys too. The Aggies and the Cowboys they're just going to win it all this year. It's going to be the best football season ever. It never happens. It'll probably never happen. But, one can dream. A lot going on today. So today's the Hotter Hell 100. The big 100-mile race is going on right now. A lot of you may be down there and you're not watching this video live because you're down either racing or watching the race. We went down there last night and watched the Criterion races, which was fun. A lot of people are in town, so welcome to all the out-of-towners visiting Wichita Falls. And how about this weather? It is not hotter than hell this year. It is mild. It is milder than anywhere. So it is 71 degrees right now. I think it was like almost in the 60s this morning. It felt great early on, right at start time for the race. So that is highly unusual that the riders are going to get a very mild and cool morning for Hotter than Hell, it's great for the riders. And then tomorrow is the big one. Tomorrow's the trail run, which I'm doing. So I got just looks like a regular Smith's Garden Town hat, but see the running team there? Yeah. So I'll be running the half marathon. They're technically not calling it a half marathon. I asked the lady yesterday how far it is, and she said it's like 12.8 miles. She was like, so technically we can't call it a half marathon. I'm calling it a half marathon. Half marathon is 13.1. So it's like right there. But it's trail run. So I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. I'll talk about more of that in a second. Also, also what happened in the news is my mom had a fall yesterday. So you guys be praying for her, and I guess it wasn't yesterday, it was a couple days ago, and thinking about her. So she fell. She's up in Colorado visiting my brother, and my mom, she's crazy. She was climbing this big mountain, being super adventurous and outdoorsy. Okay, she was just walking in my brother's neighborhood with my brother, and she tripped and fell, but it was a really bad fall, and she broke her shoulder right up here, and she's got bruises all over and scrapes all over, so she had to go to the hospital, but now she is out and she's in a sling and hopefully does not need surgery. And so she's not doing well, but she's in Colorado, so that's nice. So if you're gonna have to be immobile and not being able to do much, at least you got a nice mountain view. So she's got that going for her. But hopefully she'll have a speedy recovery and can get back home before too long. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be doing the Smith's Garden Town running team. There's 2 of us. There are 2 members, myself and a guy named Freddie, who's my buddy. We'll be running tomorrow morning this time. So if you want to cheer us on or say a prayer for us as well, and that'll be a fun time. I've never ran that far in my life. So the longest run I've ever done is 10 miles, and that was 5 days ago. And it was kind of a funny story. So it was my last long training run. I've only been training for 5 weeks, which is not recommended for a half marathon when you're starting from zero. So Monday night I set out on my longest training run, my longest run ever, 10 miles. I don't like doubling back on my route. So I went out, a long ways from home, and then decided to circle around and head back towards home. Well, I miscalculated my route and I ended up too far away from home. And so I was getting close to the 10-mile mark, and I was still a few miles from my house to get back. And it was late. It was after 10 o'clock, running out of water. So I'm like, dang. Good morning, Pam. So I get past the 10-mile mark. I'm still far from home. My legs just totally gave out. And so I happened to be next to Whataburger, and I was like, well, I'll stop in. I'll call this run over. I hit my goal. I walk into Whataburger. It was more like this, because my legs were just they were just done. So I get some water and I call my wife. I'm like, hey, come pick me up, because I was still 2 miles from home, right? And so she's like, okay. So I go out in the parking lot drinking water. It's almost 11 at night, and I see this car stall out in the intersection. And I was like, oh, that's not a good place for your vehicle to stall right in the middle of that intersection. But I'm not much help, because I'm literally crippled right now because my legs aren't working. So I'm standing there drinking water, and then I see these two ladies get out of the car, and I was like, oh no. And they start trying to push their car, and their car wasn't going. Like, they were not having good success pushing this vehicle, right? And I was like, oh no. Like, normally, no big deal. Run over there, push the car out. I'm able-bodied. Well, I wasn't able-bodied at the moment. So I'm standing there drinking water like, man, I wish I could help them. And then about that time, they look up and they see me standing there. I look like someone who's capable of helping to push a vehicle, but at the moment, I was not. And then they looked at me and they go, are you gonna come help us? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. So I walk over there and I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know how much help I'll be, but I'll try. So I get behind the car and we push this thing, and then it was moving, and then she turns it to go up into a parking lot, up a hill to get out of the road. And if you've tried to push a vehicle up a hill, hey Sylvester, not super easy. So I don't know how, but I mustered the strength to push that dang vehicle up that hill, and that's how I finished my run. It was pretty funny. Anyway, we'll see how the run goes tomorrow. You guys pray for us and all the other people that are competing and running. So should be a fun time. All right, we got other news. Speaking of, we're going to go look at plants here in a second, promise. But fall is quickly approaching. So, and it actually looks like it, I don't know if I want to jinx it, but it looks like fall might get here early. So we have been very fortunate this summer. We've gotten rain. We got more rain this week. We have more rain likely coming next week. This could end up being one of the coolest and wettest August on record. It has potential to be like the wettest August on record if things go a certain way next week, but it's certainly going to be one of the coolest Augusts on record, which is really nice. So days are already getting shorter, and we have no real hot weather in the forecast, so we have been spared a hard summer, which is nice because we've had a bunch of really hard summers back to back to back to back. So it's kind of fun when you don't have a super rough summer one year. But we potentially could see fall come early, which is great news. It's been a lot easier on the plants. Typically this time of year, we're getting 2, 3, 5 people a day coming in with dying trees, dying shrubs, because they, didn't get enough water for that first summer. So it's really tough on them. This year, I wish I had like a record keeping system for how many of those like complaints and warranty issues. I probably could look up warranties and returns somehow, but it's gotta be like 95% less than normal this year because of the cooler weather, the cooler nights, and the more increased rainfall we've had this summer. So that's been really, really nice, because I hate dealing with those issues where we want all our customers to be happy. We don't like it when a customer has a tree or a shrub that dies, and then you got to break them the bad news that they probably didn't water it enough. So those are never fun situations, and it's like 90%, 95% less this year, which is great. So it also means that if fall does come early, then we can kind of accelerate our fall planting schedule. So we're looking at bringing in some fresh trees. We're looking at bringing in some fresh shrubs. We actually just got some more fresh shrubs because fall is our big tree and shrub planting season around here. So get ready for that. I'm not calling it just yet. I'm not saying right now, everybody come in and buy trees and shrubs, because we still definitely could turn hot and dry after this next rainy spell. You never know what September is going to bring. September sometimes starts cooling off. September sometimes is 100-degree days. So, but we're going to look at it over the next couple of weeks and see where things are trending. And then we're going to start pushing for getting fall planting going. We're like on the cusp, which is great. And then we'll have pumpkins coming in a couple weeks. I mean, it's happening. It's also happening in the back. Let me turn this camera around. What else was I supposed to mention? I don't know. Maybe I'll think of it along the way. Let's turn the camera around and we'll go look at some plants. It's such a nice morning. If you haven't been outside yet, get outside. It was literally almost in the 60s this morning. So we're gonna head back here. Okay, my mom says that she wasn't just walking when she fell. There was a trip hazard on the sidewalk. In her defense. But really, it was nice that my brother was actually there. My brother and sister-in-law were there to, pick her up and take her to the hospital. So could have been worse, Mom. All right, so check in on mums over here. They are looking fantastic. Some of them have buds on them already, so we'll see some of them that are going to be our early bloomers are starting to form their flower buds. Here's one that just has the very inklings of flower buds. They're about BB sized at this point, which means this mum is about 4 weeks out from blooming when they get BB sized like that. So we're getting ready. We're going to be bringing these up front soon, actually, some of our earlier blooming ones. We're just giving them their last doses of fertilizer, and we actually put beneficial insects on these. So you'll see ladybugs and green lacewings and these little bugs called minute pirate bugs. And these are all grown with no insecticide. So we've been giving them, sprinkling. That's why some of them you'll see like this white stuff on them, because that's little wood shavings and where we sprinkle those beneficial bugs on there. So they're roaming around on the plants and they're eating the aphids, they're eating the thrips, they're eating the spider mites, those bugs that typically you got to fight with mums in greenhouse production. So it's kind of nice that they're working for us, even when we're not here, even in the evening and at night. Those beneficial bugs are doing their job. So the mum production is looking super nice. Yeah, it does. It feels great outside. It even feels great here in the greenhouse. Now you'll notice that none of these are blooming yet, but I went to Home Depot the other day and some of them were blooming at Home Depot. They've got blooming mums out, but I don't want you to fall for that and buy a blooming mum right now. So the reason why is because chrysanthemums only bloom for about 4 weeks. And when you buy one that's fully bloomed out, like I saw at Home Depot, that means they've already been blooming for a couple weeks. So those people that are purchasing those, they're gonna only get a couple more weeks of bloom out of them, which means I just walked through a spider web. Right in my mouth. So they're gonna only have those mums blooming for a couple more weeks, which means by around mid-September they will not be blooming anymore. So if you actually want mums to be blooming in the fall, then buy ones that are not blooming yet, right? So we'll have ones available that are your September bloomers. We'll have others available. I'm still pulling spiderweb out of my teeth. We'll have ones available that are October bloomers and November blooming mums. So just stay tuned for that. Once we start bringing them out, you'll be able to talk with our staff and they can kind of give you guidance on which mums are going to be the best ones for you, depending on when you want to have your fall displays in bloom. So, and we'll have all the different colors. All right, now let's head over to the other side. We're back in our, if you don't know this, we're back in our production greenhouses in the back. So this area is not open to the public. This is our grow range, and it's where we grow all these beautiful plants, and then we bring them up front when they're ready for retail, which will be soon. Look at this one. This one's about 2 weeks from blooming. Look at all those buds. So yeah, we're getting close. There's going to be a lot of color available. Good morning, y'all. Now let's head quickly to the other side. I want to show you something else. We're still in production. Oh, we're going to have a lot of new roofs come in the next couple weeks. So that's good news. We're finally going to get repairs done from the hailstorm back in April. So all of these roofs are going to get replaced. Some of our retail roofs are also getting replaced. So that should be happening in about 3 weeks, I think. So just in time for fall. But here are our poinsettias. They're looking great. Look at these little guys. So they're growing like crazy. If you didn't see the shrub shipment we got yesterday, we posted it on Facebook. Lots of good stuff on that. We got some crepe myrtles, we got some Texas sage and things like that. So come in and check those out if you're wanting to get some projects done. But soon these poinsettias will be growing up and getting big, and we're going to space them out, and they're going to fill up all of those tables, all those empty tables over there. But I always like to see nice, healthy, young poinsettias. Yep, new roofs and pumpkins. It'll be busy around here. I would have loved to have gotten it done sooner, but you know how insurance is. They're not always like the fastest, you know? All right. So in here we've got some gorgeous, over this direction, some gorgeous perennials. Look super good out here. A lot of fall bloomers are starting to bloom, but lots of good stuff going on over here in perennials. What have we not talked about yet? Artemisia looks really nice. This is Powys Castle Artemisia. Really, really hardy, sun-loving perennial that gives you that pop of silver color in the landscape. Kind of a mounding, sprawling plant. It'll grow about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. Tough as nails. It's almost evergreen too, depending on how hard the winter gets. We've got, which variety is this one here? Artemisia sea salt. That's another one with a little bit of a wider leaf. Looks a lot like Dusty Miller, but it's going to be a little bit more cold tolerant and heat tolerant than the Dusty Miller. Ooh, if you're wanting a fall obedient plant, which are blooming now, I've only got 2 left. So you better grab you one of those if you're watching this. They're so pretty. The blooms on these almost look like digitalis, foxglove, but they call them obedient plants because, I don't know if I can show you this. You can grab these blooms and you can rearrange them and then they stay. So when I grab this and like tilt it up and to the left, it just stays put. So you can move them around, and wherever you move them, they obey. That's why it's called the obedient plant. But so those are cool. Only 2 of them left. We've also got some coreopsis blooming. We've got the sedums are looking really good. I've got some good sedums, an ice plant over there. If you need some perennial succulents. Mexican petunias are looking great. Rudbeckia, Black-Eyed Susan, and Ecubeckia are looking great over there. Purple blooming verbena. So lots of fun stuff going on out here in perennial world. Even got goldenrod starting to bloom over there. Native goldenrod. Still got some really pretty cannas too. Now over here in our bedding plant world, we've got the last of our bedding plants, which we are selling for 50% off. So there's still some lantana, moss rose, angelonia, copper plants. There's a few begonias left. Got some mandevilla left. But everything out here is 50% off, including the hanging baskets. We've actually brought up some fresh asparagus fern hanging baskets out of our growing greenhouse, and those are also 50% off. So people have been snatching those up. People love asparagus fern. Got mosquito plants, and I know people still are dealing with mosquitoes because it's not cool enough to kill the mosquitoes yet. So if you're needing some citronella mosquito plants, we've got those. Break off some leaves and rub them on your skin when you're going to go outside, and that'll keep the skeeters off of you. We are rearranging out here, so it's a mess on our patio area, but we're getting ready for fall. So if you come in today and you're like, what's going on over here? It's rearranging and redecorating and creating space so that we can fit our fall displays in here and our fall decor and pumpkins and all that. So deep cleaning, moving, and getting ready. We got a couple weeks to get ready for fall. But having fun out here. We've got a couple minutes left before I get in to a staff meeting. See if I can make one last swing through Shrub Yard to give you kind of a preview of the great shrubs that we got. So we got empty table space here because we're cleaning and getting ready for bringing mums and our fall plants up. It won't be long before we got pansies and cabbage and kale ready too. Those are growing back in production. So over here we got some big, beautiful magnolias. Looks super nice. Those are going to get bought up this fall for fall planting. We hope so, at least. I bet they will because they're really good looking. That one's about to bloom. Magnolias will bloom in spring and fall. Kind of late spring is their big bloom time. Got some camellias in here. Of course, those are going to be your late fall and winter bloomer plants. I got a bunch of real nice abelia in stock blooming. But I got one more spot to go over here before we let you go. Look at those abelia. Butterflies go crazy for this. Oh, here comes Sylvester. What are you doing? Me? Checking out the abelia? And a coffee. Sorry, buddy. I wanted to show you over here because we've been out for the last couple of months, but we finally got restocked on some Texas sage and it is blooming. So these are gonna sell fast. If you didn't see before that last rain we got, the Texas sage were going insane all around town. So they call it the barometer bush because typically they will bloom either right before or right after a rain in summer, especially if it's like a July or August rain event. That's when they'll bloom. And this time they accurately predicted the rain again. So they were blooming up a storm last weekend. I mean, just covered in blooms. And then I think it was Monday we got that big rain. So they bloomed right before another big rain. And they tend to do that a lot. So restocked on those. What you doing? Just hanging out? But yeah, we got all kinds of good stuff. If anybody's wanting to get started early while we got nice stuff in, or you can wait until we get more plants in for fall and it cools off a little bit more, we got you covered either way. So we're gonna head into meeting. Glad you joined us this morning and hope to see you guys soon, either here at the store or cheering me on at the run tomorrow. Thanks for joining.